So what exactly happened today on the better half, right? You guys could see this huge shift of direction. The market was selling off. This is TQQQ, which is a NASDAQ ETF. It was selling off. Overall tech was selling off. Markets were selling off. All of a sudden, we began to see an indication of an uptrend. As we've been having on a weekly basis, it's been this Fed meeting, right? Talking about inflation, talking about unemployment reports, talking about government spending. And that was a big factor today that really influenced the market. This was something that a lot of people were anticipating. I don't want to get into it. You can look into it even more if you want to. What caused the market to push up today? The biggest factor, in my opinion, and again, please look into this, do your own due diligence, was that they announced that the policies that were put into place to increase spending during the pandemic to help individuals, small businesses, everything, right? Everything as a whole. These specific policies where they were spending $30 billion a month, $100 billion a month, are slowly going to be closed. And they are going to work on opting out and exiting out of each one of those policies. As you could imagine, if our government begins to spend less, hopefully we begin to print less, and hopefully inflation, as it's been a big concern, begins to be less of a concern in the up and coming future. That's the way that I took it. You can, again, look at this at any other way. As soon as that was shared, again, seeing that the government is at least doing something to not cause even more harm to what we're already seeing with this so-called hyperinflation, with cutting their spending, especially in policies that have not been as effective in most people's eyes, cause the overall market to go up because it is a step in the right direction. It's not like, oh, we're going to make an overall recovery right away, but it's a step in the right direction. We went from an overall descending pattern to beginning to indicate signs of an uptrend. I took a decent position size. It was not anything crazy. Overall P&L on the day, I've had a position on TQQQ already. My average purchase price is 158. I like to average up into my positions. Not all of you guys would agree with me. It's just the way that I trade. And again, there's so many different ways in doing this. TQQQ is a triple leverage ETF. I would not recommend it for everyone, but when the markets pull back, then so does TQQQ. So I was talking to the Learn Plan Profit team, and as it became oversold, it's one of my favorite ETFs to buy the dip on, as when the market recovers, as it tends to, then so does TQQQ. And fortunately, I've been able to average up ever since it dipped, right? So right now we're right around 167 pretty much. That's about a 10% return already. And if we go back to previous highs, which is again, something that we're working towards, not something that has to happen, but that's a 21% return. I have about a $31,000 position size right now. I would love to be invested with about $75,000 to about $100,000 by the time if we break above 170. Just a heads up, I like to talk about the risk involved even with the stocks that I choose to trade. Be aware of this resistance level at 170. The last time we got rejected, there has been obvious previous resistance levels here. There is just only one time that we broke above and we hit highs of 183. So again, a goal is something to work towards, not something that you actually have to hit every single time. So if you see indication of a resistance level, never be afraid to lock in profits. One of the other stocks that I traded today that worked out very, very well is AMC. I sold most of my position right before the market closed, and being honest with you, I missed out on some of this because since the market has closed, AMC has gapped up almost 5%. I made $1,600 today just by day trading AMC during the day. That's not taken into consideration after market hours, as I only had about 250 shares going into the aftermarket hours. I did miss out on that, but again, I'm okay with that. The way that I view AMC, and again, if you want to hold, all power to you, the way that I view AMC is as a riskier trade. I need to treat it as a riskier trade. This isn't an Apple stock. This isn't Facebook. This isn't a quality company. This is a stock that sometimes when it's bullish, it skyrockets, but when it tanks, it drops like no other. It lost 50% of its value in just about 10 days. So make sure you take that into consideration. I just want to not only talk about how much profit potential AMC offers, but as well as the risk involved. And I think risk management is definitely something you always need to take into consideration, especially with stocks that are not as bullish as something like, AMC. Other than that, I'm super excited to see a lot of our blue chip stocks. How many of you guys saw Facebook today? How many of you guys saw Tesla today? all of them. Nothing was really doing too well. If you guys look at Tesla, Tesla hit lows of $9.30 a share. I was like, wow, I'm not even shorting Tesla anymore. I was like, I'm considering buying Tesla because I found it to be so cheap. And again, right now we're at the EMA line waiting for indication of a reversal. And again, really excited to follow up. If we do begin to trade above the EMA line, I would love to buy some Tesla. And I have about $40,000 of Facebook as of right now. So it looks promising today. But one of the things that I want to remind you is that one good day does not determine the overall future of the market. Yes, it's a step in the right direction, but please, please, please don't get too confident. One of the things that I really love to encourage and empower our Learn Plan Profit traders is to do something in a tasteful manner, meaning that you do things in increments and with moderation, so it makes it a little bit easier to understand what you're getting yourself into. I just would hate for you to go all in, and then let's say tomorrow the market begins to correct itself, and then you ride that stock all the way back down. Understand that there's always two sides to every opportunity. Allow the direction to be in your favor. And again, the trend is your friend, so you can slowly average up into that position. So I really hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. Please consider subscribing. If there's any specific stock that you guys would like me to break down, make sure you comment that down below. And especially if you guys have never watched any of my live trading sessions, I trade live every single morning at market open. And if you want to join us as soon as tomorrow, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you tomorrow at market open during our live trading session. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.